Howdy, Birchwood fam. Still coming at you from Birchwood. So for this week, the word is longing to be heard. And so for this one, it's a little bit of a tougher one, I'll be honest with you. But hang in there with me. So the verse I'm going to be reading is Hebrews 3, 7 through 10. And that reads, so as the Holy Spirit says, today if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts as you did in the rebellion. During the time of testing in the wilderness, where your ancestors tested me and tried me, though for 40 years they saw what I did. That is why I was angry with that generation. I said their hearts are always going to go astray, and they have not known my ways. So I declared an oath in my anger, they shall never enter my rest. So, what this is talking about is the Israelites that are in the desert. They're wandering around for 40 years waiting to enter the promised land. And so, pretty much God's talking about here is that they clearly saw signs and heard the voice of the Lord. I mean, he provided with them with manna. He split the Red Seas. But still, they found a way to complain or doubt God through those times. And so, God saw them as never going to open their hearts to him. So, he basically had them wander around the desert till they died out, that generation die out, and have the next generation go into the promised land. So, I think the way that we can relate to this, or at least I can, is that sometimes we ask God for certain things, and it might not be according to our plan. And so, he's done other things in our life. He's constantly provided us with, A, B, and C. But since this one prayer request that we're wanting, he doesn't answer immediately, we just turn our back away from God and just don't even open ourselves to him as kind of a way of like getting back at him. And so that clearly doesn't fly with God. And so as we see here that since they did this, God said, they're never going to open up to me. Their hearts are too hardened. I'm going to let them die out and let their kids enter the promised land. So just ways that we can relate to this is if there is something that God you feel like isn't answering, just be patient. It might take time. Maybe he's trying to teach you something else. Maybe your eyes are blinded to other blessings that he's just providing in your life. And so I'm just wanting to encourage not to turn your back on God as like an act of rebellion when he's not answering certain prayers the way you want. And so that's something I can definitely learn from. There's been times I've been kind of mad at God during this whole coronavirus thing, and just I'm not someone who really likes to be locked down in the house. So I've kind of, acted out in different ways. But this is just an encouragement to me and really kind of a push in the right step, just me reading this, that I just need to trust in him, that his ways are a lot better than what I can ever do. And sometimes those certain prayers that you want might not be answered immediately or at all. And we're going to have to be okay with that and keep our faith and not turn our back on him when the times get tough. So that's just my encouragement to y'all.